Today, I'll be ranking every HOH of Big Brother 27 based on gameplay. Let's get it.
Congratulations, Vince. You are the new head of household.
My good friend Lauren, if you don't mind having a seat. And deal with any repercussions that come afterward. I'm very sorry. I love you both. I vote to evict Kelly.
Vince's final 7 HOH, where he nominated Ava, Keanu, and Kelly, and then Morgan won the veto and took down Ava, and then he re-nominated Lauren, which was like a game-ending decision. This is definitely where Vince lost the game, and it's no revisionist history on that. I was saying this at the time, that now he cannot beat Morgan or Ashley or Keanu in a jury vote. I knew this for sure when he made this decision, especially when he saved Keanu in a tie. Like, bro, I knew that was gonna mess with his perception too, because it's like you ain't even taking the big shots. Like, you really playing a scare game is what it seemed like. But the judges were never fully loyal to Vince. If any of them would have won, Vince could have possibly seen the block. For some reason, because he was so in love with Morgan, he just rode with the judges' alliance, and he even turned on people that had his back more than the judges when he turned on Lauren, Keanu, Kelly. And he could have literally had an alliance with Lauren, Keanu, Kelly, Ava, and honestly ran the game on that side, because though Morgan was a competition beast, he was also great in competitions. So was Keanu, so was Lauren, and so was Kelly. And Ava was pretty serviceable too. But he chose to, instead of riding with them, he attempted to kind of play the middle, but also he really showed his true loyalty to the judges, an alliance that barely even had his back, and most of the people didn't even like him other than Morgan. So pretty much a dumb decision, in my opinion. A terrible, game-ending, perception-ruining decision. And at number 14, I've got...
Is true. Congratulations, Lauren! Oh my God.
Adrian, you are evicted from the Big Brother house.
Lauren's week 3 HOH. I debated between this and a few other HOHs, but the reason that I have this one at number 14 is because she nominated Will, someone who she was technically in an alliance with. And then she nominated Adrian, someone she was also technically in an alliance with. So neither of those were good decisions. Kelly really had done nothing to her. She really could have worked with Kelly. And honestly, she also could have worked with Keanu. She nominated all people that were more beneficial to the other side. And she kind of knew that she wasn't on the same side as most of the women. And she still made these decisions. It seemed like it was very scared of a decision. It seems like Morgan and Rachel really scared her off of nominating Ashley and scared her off of nominating any other women in the game other than Kelly, which I think would have been a lot smarter decisions for her to make. As long as she didn't nominate, really, it would have been smart for her just not to nominate Ava, Kelly, or Catherine in terms of the women. Any other woman, it should have been free game for her, but she played scared. And I get that this kind of helped her kind of lay low to a certain extent, but I just feel like big moves should have been made here, especially because she nominated people that were in an alliance with her that would have at least somewhat had her back. She nominated the Bond Alliance, which I just didn't think that was the best way to go, because that lost her Adrian and it lost her Will's loyalty, and Will really didn't like her the game after that. Yeah, they hadn't talked, but this was an opportunity for her to extend an olive branch, especially because they already have an alliance and she's so close to Ava. Ava and Will are like basically number ones at the time. Just would have been a smarter move to make. And at number 13, I've got...
Wow. Congratulations, Riley. You are the new head of household.
The person I believe dethroned me is Ashley. Will the person with the HOH interrogation power please stand?
Do it.
Sorry, Riley. Sings ball number 2. Riley sings ball number 3.
Riley, good job, Riley.
Congratulations, Riley. Jimmy, you are evicted from the Big Brother house.
Riley's dethroned HOH, which happened to be Mickey's week 4 HOH. And I definitely could have had this lower. I definitely understand why it would be considered maybe the worst HOH of the season. She nominated Riley after stealing his HOH, which was the smartest way to go about it. She nominated Kelly and Keanu, which were house targets. Everybody wanted them out. Keanu won veto, and then she backdoored Jimmy. Morgan convinced her to backdoor one of her final twos, which was stupid. But at the time, I even thought that Jimmy had done a little bit of shadiness that had came out to light, which I thought made sense on why Morgan was doing that. It's like get the enemy that you know could be an enemy that's pretending to be your friend versus someone that you know is like outwardly big target and stuff like that. She was thinking of it as a big move, and I can understand that logic, and I also can understand taking out Jimmy. And from like a logical standpoint, the move did not ruin her game. In the week, it didn't ruin her game. It didn't even ruin her full perception from the house guests. People were down to make this move, and she kept most of her alliances, and she even grew more alliances after that. It really just kind of screwed up her game with Rachel. It lost her all of Rachel's like loyalty and stuff like that. And it made it kind of obvious that her and Morgan were not playing the game in Rachel's best interest. And at number 12, I've got
Lauren, you are the new head of household.
Who? Will, you are evicted from the Big Brother house.
Lauren's Week 9 HOH. And she nominated Ashley, Will, and Morgan. Morgan won the veto. Keanu was a renom. Keanu won Blockbuster. And then Will went home, which I could understand why that was considered good for her game because her and Will had never talked game and they had no social like connection at all. And her gameplay was sort of forced into this direction because you have to nominate 3 noms this deep in the game. But I just really think that she should have nominated Kelly over Keanu. I know maybe that's a hot take. I don't know. And she should just went full on Rambo and just went against Morgan and Ashley and Will and Vince and just went against that side because clearly they weren't with her. She probably should have went after the strongest competitors, but I understand why she didn't make that move. So I'm not going to dock her too much for that. But I do think that to a certain extent, Will going home wasn't as good for her game because Will is even a weaker competitor than Ashley. So it's like you should have really took a big shot and got out someone that was actually strong. And you knew Keanu was gonna win Blockbuster versus Ashley and Will. Like, come on, man. Like, I just think that was a smart decision. Keanu clearly wasn't gonna go home. He was clearly going to win Blockbuster against them. So she kind of put herself in a situation where Keanu was just gonna be against her after that week. And if you have watched this far in the video, make sure that you go ahead and push the like button and the subscribe button so you can be notified every time I drop a new lit banger. And at number 11, I've got
13-0. Amy, you are evicted from the Big Brother house.
Jimmy's Week 2 HOH. He nominated Kelly, Adrian, and Keanu. Kelly and Keanu both had power, so they came off the block. And then Amy and Will were the renoms due to those powers. That definitely put his game, that put him in a position where he had to nominate so many people. So I understand that, but I do think he slightly made incorrect decisions by nominating people that his alliance didn't even want him to nominate. From like a alliance standpoint, he probably should have nominated someone like Kat or Lauren, even though he was trying to kind of play the middle. And I do think that is what added on to the reason that Mickey even flipped on him because it was clear that he was playing just in his best interest. He should have played more in the best interest of his alliance overall and the women in general because that would have for sure helped his game a lot more. And at number 10, I've got
Congratulations, Morgan. You are the new head of household.
So, with all respect, I vote to evict Ava.
Morgan's Final Four HOH. This is when the HOHs are all pretty solid, so it was a little harder to rank them. This season actually has probably the best HOHs of any season I broke down so far. Maybe 24 will be better, but this is definitely the best season so far. Like I said, Morgan's Final Four HOH, she nominated Ava and Ashley. She also won the veto and then did not use it, so Vince had to evict Ava. Fully understand the game move. I just think she made it blatantly obvious. And I understand why, but she made it. I mean, I understand what she was like, making sure that Vince knew she was rocking with her, but like She made it blatantly obvious that at the time she was going to take Vince to the end. And I definitely think that contributed to why Ashley, sent her home at final three. She was probably gonna do that anyway, obviously, because Ashley was pretty strategic. But I definitely think this really added to it. It's not really much I can really say about this HOH because it's not really much you can do in the final four. And she won both the challenges, stuff like that. But with her even having the thought that Vince could give her a run for her money or possibly beat her, she probably should have took that shot. And that's kind of what I can dock her for. And at number 9, I've got
Congratulations, Vince. You have passed my trial and are the new head of household.
Keanu and you, Ava. There's only 4 options. This just seemed to make the most sense at this point.
Keanu, you may leave my sanctum and exit the Big Brother house.
Vince's final 5 HOH. He nominated Ava and Keanu. Morgan won the veto, and then Keanu was evicted. I really do understand why he made the Keanu move because Keanu is such a big player and he's such a comp beast and he's such a jury threat. But at the same time, at this point, he had kind of maintained his relationship with Keanu, I guess, even though Keanu nominated him. But it's like you should let Morgan make that move or just went to the end with Keanu because I think his perception would have at least been a little different. He would have probably been looked at as a little bit more loyal. And then also, he would have been able to have someone that is going to just guarantee take him to the end. And I know he had faith in himself to win those final challenges, but this is someone that would have for sure took him to the end, and he would have probably been able to beat because he would have had a lot better of a pitch. They weren't in the same alliance. Moves that they made together wasn't, anything like that. Yeah, you could still claim Morgan made some of his moves, but keeping Keanu safe would have for sure contributed to the narrative that he didn't just play Morgan's game. So I don't know. I think Ashley should have been hitting the block this week.
Congratulations, Keanu. You are the new head of household.
Mickey, you are evicted from the Big Brother house.
Keanu's week 8 HOH. He nominated Vince, Mickey, and Morgan. Morgan won veto. Vince won the blockbuster. And then Ashley was the renom, obviously, after Morgan won veto. And Mickey was evicted. I think this was a solid HOH, especially when you take into account the fact that Morgan and Mickey were his targets. He got his target out. He made decent nominations. My big problem with this HOH is how he acted about Vince. Like, I get it, bro. If we was outside the game, like I could get why he was teaching Vince a lesson. But that stuff don't make sense. Try to teach a grown man a lesson in a game like this. That was stupid. Obviously, bro's gonna take a shot back at you, and you're gonna look goofy. Even though I don't even think Vince should have took that shot later. It's like warranted. Just like you, and it's like, look, in my opinion, I can get where Keanu's coming from. I know he honestly probably feels disrespected as a man. But at the end of the day, that's not the move you make, bro. That's not the move you make. If you're gonna sit up here and cry, if Vince would have gone, like, bro would have been in tears. He would have completely been in tears. And that's just why this HOH can't be too high for me. And at number 6, I've got
Was B, which means Ava, you are the new head of household.
Zach, you are evicted from the Big Brother house.
Ava's week 5 HOH. She nominated Keanu, Zach, and Vince. Great nominations, went for the big threats, even though she didn't really have to nominate Zach and Vince or go for them. She could have just played it safe, laid low. And that's why I can't have HOH too high. Because though these people didn't have Ava's best interest in mind and they let Will get nominated and they let Adrian go home and things like that. Well, I mean, they didn't let Adrian go home. She was the reason Adrian went home because it was Will up there. You know what I mean? But it's like, she could have honestly kept Vince and Zach in the game and worked with them and went further in the game with them. But I also get it. Let's shake up the game. Let's go for some players that the game honestly favors at this point. I get it. Let's shake up the game and let's go for some players that the game favors at this point. That makes sense. It has really good logic in it, but I don't necessarily think she should have just chilled in her room and didn't really play the game the entire week. Her HOH is not like low, but is this low? You know what? Her HOH is making me realize that the HOHs of this season actually weren't good because she didn't do anything during her HOH. Like I remember writing this up and she just was in her room the whole day. Mickey kind of ran her HOH and then she was talking stuff about Mickey for running her HOH. Didn't really make sense. And at number 5, I've got
Congratulations, Vince! You are the first head of household of the summer. Zay, you are evicted from the Big Brother house.
Vince's week 1 HOH, and he nominated Ashley, Amy, and Zay. You know, Ashley because the Showergate stuff, Amy because she kind of tried to defend Ashley with the Showergate stuff, and Zay because he just seemed like someone that was easy to throw up there, didn't have too many allies, and was kind of down to go, not down to go up, but bro wasn't gonna cause a tantrum, so he was like, all right, let me just put him up. Then he renommed Kelly when Ashley pulled out that that veto. When Ashley pulled out that veto, he renommed Kelly. So I definitely understand his reasoning. The only problem is for me, he threw Kelly on the block. Yes, she volunteered, but you really shouldn't throw your ally on the block or someone that you at least can definitely have that early in the game. Yeah, that kind of probably helped his perception with other players and the quote unquote heavy hitters alliance and stuff like that. But I don't know. I don't think that was really the best possible move. And that's why I don't got this HOH very high. But this is really the first of the good HOHs I would have, like the really good HOHs, where it's like, all right, good. He positioned himself well. You know what I'm saying? He got some good alliances with Morgan, Zach, Keanu, Riley. Like he had really locked Kelly. He had really locked himself in regardless of his nominations. So I think he made some pretty good moves and this is some good HOH. Another thing that I will dock him for though is the fact that him and Morgan and Zach kind of made it really obvious they were together from the very beginning. And at number 4, I've got
Congratulations, Vince! You are the next head of the household!
Catherine, you are evicted from the Big Brother house.
Vince's week 7 HOH. This is, the one where he nominated Kelly, Ava, and Mickey. Mickey won veto. He renominated Catherine. And though he frustrated Keanu and Kelly and kind of frustrated that side and Lauren and stuff like that, I just think this was a really solid move to at least seemingly solidify himself with the judges, gain some trust from them, look like he was really on their side. I mean, well, really solidify himself on their side. And I think this was just a smart move to make because he was always going to be able to get Keanu, Kelly, and Lauren back on side. So I just think it was the best way to go about it. Though this definitely is the week that Kelly started to get mad, shaky about Vince. And she was probably done with Vince after this week. I ain't going to lie. And at number 3,
4 points for Ashley. There is no need to go on. Congratulations, Ashley. You are the final head of household.
I don't know if I can beat you in a final 2. I think it could be a toss-up with Vinny. I'm so sorry, but I have to evict you, Morgan.
Kelly has cast her vote for congratulations, Ashley. You are the winner of Big Brother 27.
Ashley's final 3 HOH decision. I've decided that with this final 3 HOH, just so that it's a little more to score, I'm gonna also look at their performance in the competitions. And I would have it higher if she didn't look terrible in part 1. If she did good in part 1, then I would have it I would probably have it at number 1 for the HOHs because she destroyed Morgan. Yeah, Morgan choked. Yeah, Vince choked. Yeah, these players choked. But she was able to get a clear, decisive victory over both, especially with her domination over Morgan. So I got to have it this high. And then she made the best decision by getting Morgan up out of the game. I got to give Ashley credit, and I'm going to go ahead and put it at number 3. And at number 2, I've got
Congratulations, Morgan. You are the new head of household. Lauren, you are evicted from the Big Brother house.
Morgan's final 6 double eviction HOH, where she nominated Keanu and Lauren. Keanu won the veto, renominated Ava, and then Lauren got up out of there. I think that this was the best possible move that she could make at this point. She didn't let Vince deter her in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, Vince wasn't crazy with his pitches, but she didn't let Vince deter her at all. Got Lauren up out of there. Almost got Keanu up out of there. That was just the best way to go about it. And she almost literally won the veto. And if she would have won that veto, she would have got Keanu up out of there. Maybe. Probably would still been Lauren, huh? I don't even remember. Would that still been Lauren, or would it have been Keanu if Morgan won that veto? Keanu, right? But yeah, nah. I think this was just the best possible way to go about stuff. The HOHs aren't the greatest in the season, like I said, I realized after looking at this ranking. But this is actually a solid HOH. She made a great decision. Wasn't anything that deterred her, and she handled it well. And this is the point in the video where I would like to thank everybody for watching this far and for subscribing. Make sure you subscribe. And also, y'all let me know in the comments who you guys think had the best HOH of the season. And at number 1, I've got...
Who wants to meet the new HOH? Congratulations, Rachel. You are the new head of household.
By a vote of 5-4, Morgan, you are safe. Riley, you are evicted from the Big Brother house.
Rachel's week 6 HOH. This is when she nominated Vince, Mickey, and Morgan. Lauren won the veto, took down Vince. She renominated Riley. Mickey won Blockbuster, and she got Riley up out of there. Little did she know, man, Riley was one of her biggest enemies in the game. He really hated Rachel, and it was just smartest to go for him. She didn't even know that. But obviously, Mickey and Morgan and Vince were also all probably going to be targeting Rachel very soon if they had the balls to do it. So I just think that nominating them, scrambling the game up, these were all kind of dominant players at that point too, scrambling the game up, getting people all over the place. It forced a lot of movement in the game. This is what led to the creation of the judges, kind of got Morgan to see the light. You know what I mean? So obviously got Ashley to see the light. So like I just think this was the best possible HOH someone could really have. Got her a huge threat, nominated multiple big threats that it didn't really matter who went home. It was going to be someone that was going to be shaking up the game. And she was able to position herself significantly better in the game. This was just a perfect HOH. And who's surprised by Rachel Riley, the vet on the cast, who genuinely showed more game ability than she ever has in her career. You know what I'm saying? I'm not surprised that she was able to go out there and do that. Great HOH from Rachel, and I got it at number 1. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Push the notification bell so you can be notified every time I drop a new lit banger. Peace.